welcome back. So we are session 2. We're going to talk about how to confidently position and price your products at premium price points so that you can scale with ease. So one of the reasons I was playing that last song, I am a lover of all kinds of music. DJ Khaled, I can't say I'm a super fan, but I'm a fan this year because I like this new album. But I noticed something this year. I paid attention to something I never really paid attention to. So every time in one of his songs, before he starts his song, like, or at some point during the song, you will always hear DJ Khaled say, "We the best music." Why am I bringing that up right now? I'm not getting any money from DJ Khaled, but why that's important is because he is super confident about what he is producing. And even probably before he was as big as he is now, because he's been saying that on his music since day one. You guys, what you tell yourself, how you think about yourself, how you think about your business, the things that you were saying to other people in your attempt to be humble, to, well, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging. I don't want to promote too much. I feel like I'm being salesy. You are not being salesy. You are not bragging. You are communicating a belief that your business, that your brand, that the products that you offer and that you sell are the best. DJ Khaled says, we are the best music. He's letting it be known. He is making a statement. He makes the best music. Now, there are some people who absolutely agree with him. There are people who absolutely don't agree with him. And there are people in between. But you know what? He's doing pretty well for himself. And I'm bringing this up as we go into this session about talking about how to confidently charge premium price points and how to confidently position yourself. I'm saying that because you have to be confident. I'm not going to tell you here that all you need to do to generate more revenue is to just increase your prices. That would be being a disservice to you, and it would be very dishonest. Because the truth of the matter is, people are buying your products. Excuse me, the customers who are buying your products, believe it or not, they're not buying it because of the product itself. They're not buying it because of the price. They're not typically choosing you and your brand and your business or your boutique or whatever because strictly off price. And if you are, you will find that those are not the most loyal customers. People who are focused and driven strictly by price, they will shop anywhere. So when you think about some of the people, if you have an in-person type business, or if you have people who shop your online boutique and you've gotten to know them through things like your social media, which you should, because you should be communicating with them. If you have those kind of people, those are repeat loyal customers, and they're not coming to you because you have the best prices. I promise you they're not, okay? They're coming to you and buying from you for something way deeper than that. So I'm not gonna talk about increasing your price points as on a superficial level. It does work to build your revenue, and I'm gonna tell you how, but first I gotta get you on board with feeling a little braggadocious. I need you to be confident in what you're selling and understand that what you're selling is not even the product that you're selling. I know that sounds bizarre right now, but I'm going to take you with me. So let me know in the chat too. I'm just curious, have you guys even ever heard that before? Have you ever heard people say, like, you're not selling your product, you're selling something else? Like, is that concept that I'm sharing, is that completely new for you right now? Or have you heard something like it before, but you just didn't, I heard the words, but I don't believe it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I've heard it, but what are you really saying? Okay, so Audrey says it's new to her. Okay, cool. So whether it's new to you, you've heard it before, you've heard a version, we're going to get into it. All right. So one of the biggest challenges I hear from people is, how do I stay relevant? How do I stand out? How do I get people to buy from me? How do I increase my revenue? So go deeper into this. It's one of my favorite things to teach with my clients. We go step by step with how exactly you can do this for your business. because everybody's business model is different. Everybody's selling a different product, okay? But at the heart of it, if you position yourself in your industry, in your niche, in your market, if you are saying, I need to get more visibility, I don't want just a customer that shops with me one time and I never see them again, because would we all be in agreement to say that that's not how you're going to have a sustainable business? If somebody just buys from you one time, right? You want people to be like, oh my God, I love shopping at Blue Willow Boutique. You know, that's my favorite place. Oh my God, I love Sosa Diddy Boutique because she always has blah, blah, blah. Or, oh my God, a lot, like every time if I know I want something, I'm going a lot. Like that's what we want, right? We want that. We don't want the one time and done. It's so much harder to get new customers than it is to keep one that's already in your sphere, your bubble. Okay. So you've got to understand that when people are saying you need to talk about your business, you need to share, you need to be out here, you need to increase your visibility, it doesn't mean post pictures of your product more. Is that important? It absolutely is. But there's a real disconnect that happens that's probably standing in between where you want to be with your goals for your business and where you are right now. And a lot of times it's something really simple called the human connection. So I'm going to talk to you about that. But first, again, how many of you all are saying, I need that? I need more visibility. I need to stand out. I don't know how to differentiate myself. Everybody's selling what I have. There's no way I can charge a higher price because everybody in my market is selling it for this amount. So how dare I sell it for more? So I gave this example a couple of weeks ago. I went live and I was talking about it. And I'm going to bring it up here because it was a really good example. All right, so let's talk about like an even playing field. All right, Kristen says she's having this problem now. Okay, cool. So first things first is when you're considering considering yourself or viewing yourself as having competition, right? You don't have competitors. I don't like to look at it that way. It's not necessarily you have competitors, you just have other business owners, right? And they're all doing the same thing that you're doing. Everybody's just trying to carve out their own little spot in the world. Okay, let's take leather handbags. Let's just say that we're talking about 4 leather handbags. One is at the thrift store for $3. It's a name brand leather purse at the thrift store that somebody donated, gave away. It's $3. TJ Maxx has a leather handbag that's name brand as well. It's not been used. It's just an overstock. So TJ Maxx has it. They're selling it for $30. Coach has a leather handbag. It's $300. Hermes has a leather handbag. It's $30,000. All 4 of those businesses are selling leather handbags. They're all have customers who are willing to pay $3, $30, $300, and $30K. What's the difference? Why would somebody go to Hermes and buy a $30,000 handbag if we're comparing basically apples to apples? I've seen people try to give this explanation, but they'll be saying like, well, you know, you work, maybe you shop at Walmart and somebody else is going to Nordstrom. That's not the same. It's not even close. It's just not even close. But if we're talking, you have a customer base who values leather handbags. They want leather because it's a decent, you know, or better, perceived as being decent or better quality than something that's vinyl or plastic, right? So we want a leather handbag. All right, so we're leveling the playing field there with a leather handbag. Why at $3 up to $30K, everybody's selling them. The thing that is separating those 4 businesses or those types, 4 different kind of brands, and why each one of them can make money is because they are each very, very clear about who their customers are. Those are 4 different customers. They all want leather handbags, but they're 4 different types of customers. And one of the biggest mistakes that product-based business owners do is that we want to have something for everybody. We're like super heart-centered, we're inclusive. A lot of times I'm dealing with a lot of women. I do work with men, but there are a lot of women that I work with. And women are naturally more inclined to want to make sure that everybody has something. Oh, you don't eat that? Oh, let me make you, oh, you're gluten-free? I'll make sure I have a gluten-free for you, and I'll make sure I got like a nut-free for you. And right, I'm gonna do all these things. I wanna make sure everybody's happy. Super great place to come from. But when it comes to your business, all this does is fragment your focus, and it makes it impossible for you to stay within budgets because you're trying to please everyone. Instead of focusing on one customer who absolutely enjoys, wants, not need, notice I didn't say need, who wants exactly what you have, okay? Not just in, oh, you have that particular product, but you have something else that I really want as well. And they're not even necessarily aware they want it. But let me go back to these handbags real quick. So you got these 4 different handbags. So the thrift store is not trying to sell a $300 purse. Maybe a vintage boutique would, but that's different than a thrift store. Okay, so the customer who would want a who would be willing to pay happily for a $300 used leather bag, that's more of a collector. That person has an interest in that particular type of product, a particular era. They have an attachment, a desire that's beyond just it being a leather. It's more than just the material. It's all these other things that go with it. So they're going to go to a vintage boutique, but a person's going to a thrift store, they're there for a thrift price or a good find, right? They're there for the bargain. Nothing's wrong with that. I'm just trying to get you guys to see. So they're the bargain shopper, okay? If you're trying to get to a point where your business can pay for you to retire, if you're trying to get to the point where your business can generate 200K in revenue, unless you have a boatload of inventory, it's going to be hard for you to get there with the $3 thrift price. That's a lot of quantity that you have to move. Are y'all following me? Let me know in the chat. Okay, so you have to decide when you build your business, or when you're in a process of like, I'm going to have to go some different directions. What is the purpose of your business, and who is it there to serve? This is why you'll hear so many times people talk about a customer avatar. It is the most like, I already know who my customer is. I mean, she's a woman, she's 18 to 40, she likes nice things and she likes to be different. You have just named a bajillion people on the earth, and you have not told anybody like, I'm here for you, other than you said a woman. Because when is the last time you met a woman who said, you know what, I'm 18 to 40 and I like to look ugly? So you saying like, I have stuff for women who like to look cute and be unique. What is unique? Because my idea of unique could be totally different from your idea of unique. So understanding exactly who your customer is step one, and who you want them to be. Let me say it that way, who you want them to be, okay? Because if you want them to be a woman who values quality, who has certain interests, and I'm going to get to that in a second, but if that's what you want, but you're attracting the bargain shopper, there's something happening in the way that you market your business and your brand that is out of alignment. There's that word alignment again. What you're saying, what you desire, and what you're saying and how you're showing up, it's not matching up. It's off. So you're getting the bargain shopper even though you're trying to be luxury. Okay, so thrift shop knows I'm attracting bargain shoppers, bargain hunters, and I'm totally okay with that. Thrift stores do very well because they're clear. Okay, TJ Maxx understands. Okay, so I have the bargain shopper, but they don't necessarily want it used. They'd rather be new, and they're okay with paying a little bit more, right? They're family oriented, probably. They're gonna come here. They want to kind of look for, see, you know, people go into TJ Maxx just to see, what can I see? What can I find today, right? Okay, cool. we start getting into Coach leather bag. Now we're starting to get into a type of shopper who is interested like in brands and aesthetics. And it's not just that it's a leather bag, it's a Coach bag. You get what I'm saying? We're getting into, I'm going for luxury. I'm into that. Hermes, luxury, lifestyle. A person who's buying an Hermes bag for $30,000, they're letting you know I'm in a certain league. Nothing's wrong with none of these stages. I'm just showing you that the reason that $30,000 handbag can sell, it has nothing to do with the price. It's what the price represents. It's what the customer is feeling when they're buying something. It's what they want. And when business owners get that, it changes the game. A person buying $30,000 Hermes bag is letting you know this is a status symbol. This is an expression of the lifestyle that I live. And that expression and that lifestyle is high-end luxury. So when you're creating, crafting, designing your business model, your ideal customer avatar, when you're thinking and talking about anything that has to do with your business, and when I use the word talking, here's the kicker. We get so boggled down with the word marketing. Raise your hand. Was I the only person who was, I've heard marketing all the time, marketing. I was interchanging marketing with promoting. I thought marketing meant like advertising. But then what's promoting? Marketing is just communicating and talking about what products you have, what your brand stands for, and why people should care. That's what marketing is. Marketing leads to sales, but marketing is not about selling. It's simply about talking about your business. It's talking about what you care about as the owner of this brand. And here's another news flash. You are your brand. As much as we would like to separate ourselves from that, I was the queen of, I am not here for the fame. I'm not here for the photo shoots. Like, I don't want to do interviews. I mean, I'll do them because, you're supposed to, but I don't want to, I can go hide. I just want to do what I do. I'm not really here for all of that. But the truth is that you are so intertwined with your business because it is yours, that you are a personal brand, and it's time to stop hiding from that. It's time to embrace it. And that goes into being confident in who you are. Now, I'm not saying in order to have a successful business, you have to be the most confident person on the planet, right? But you do need or want to start thinking about making sure you feel confident in what you're selling, because you can't slap a price point on something. And I'm not even about to suggest here that anybody needs to be trying to offer a $30,000 product. But what I am going to say is, if you are pricing to be affordable, if you have positioned your boutique, your business, your candle business, your jewelry business, whatever, to be affordable so that you can stay competitive, because this is usually the conversation we have with ourselves. I need to be competitive, so I'm going to make sure my prices are in line with what everybody else is doing. You're setting yourself up to be on the struggle bus longer than necessary. You're going to be in the building stage a lot longer than necessary. Y'all tracking? Okay, so how do we not do that? Because we don't want to do that. Kristen says, I get it now. I was trying to please my customer with a price and afraid to go up. The last 2 dresses, I went up $15 more and was afraid I wouldn't sell out, and I sold 6 of them in 2 days. Well, that's the end of my presentation. Because that's where I was going. That's where I'm going with this. People, we be so afraid like to increase the price, like we're going to repel people. But if we look at what is actually happening, if you're struggling to make sales, if it's a struggle, why would you be scared to try something different? You need to be scared of doing the same thing. Okay? There are people, I remember my mom telling me this with my first boutique, right? I remember her saying, like, there are people who will not shop with you because the prices are too low. They will not shop because they're of a certain, they're at what they want and how they want to feel when they're buying things, because sales is not about the thing that people are buying. It's not about your dress. It's not about your soaps. It's not about your earrings. It is about the feeling. Sales is psychology. When's the last time, like, you ate something because you, when's the last time you ate something decadent because you needed to? Like, when's the last time you ate a dessert because you needed to eat a dessert? Or did you eat the dessert because you wanted it? People buy stuff that they want, right? People don't get it, and they're excited. They're excited to buy stuff they want. They're not excited to buy stuff that they need, right? So you, like, thinking, like, let me position myself and let me show up. Oh, my bio, I sell affordable, blah, blah, blah. If I see that, it just makes me cringe, because it's cool to be affordable. I'm not saying we're about to turn your business into a high-end boutique per se, or a high-end, pottery store, or whatever it is, physical product that you sell. I'm not saying that, but your price points are directly linked to those business financial goal, business financial revenue goals. So just doing simple math, is it easier to get to $100 selling things for $5, or would it be easier to get to $100 selling things for $15? You know what I mean? Like, do you want the long game when it comes to that, or do you want to get there a little quicker if you can? I know some of y'all are like, yeah, that's cool. I'm following you. I'm tracking you, Sonia, but I don't know how I'm gonna get them to do it. How I'm gonna get them to buy. Alexis says, I'm revamping my price today. I'm telling you, it's a total game changer. It's a couple of reasons why that worked for Kristen, but why it will work for anybody. Let's get into that. So I've said this a couple times before. You're not selling a product, okay? You need to know that. You are not selling your product, all right? You need to know what connects you. Since people are buying from emotion, they're buying from a place of, like, feeling, relationship, that whole kind of thing. You need to know what you and your ideal customer, where you guys are coming together, where you guys are meeting in the middle, what connects you with them. It could be a couple of things, or it could be just one of these things. You probably have a shared interest, okay? Meaning, like, let's look at the bag. There's somebody out here who might say, well, I only buy leather bags because I believe in, sustainability. And if people are killing cows to eat the meat, let's not just let the skin go to waste. Like, let's use everything. So I want this leather bag because I'm going to buy it. It's going to last me several years. And that makes more sense than me buying, 4 vinyl purses every 6 months because the straps break because they're not good quality, where leather is going to last. So that's my reason why I want a leather bag. You get what I'm saying? And so if I'm the customer and that's my rationale, that's my thought process, and I come across a social media page or a website or a boutique or a vendor, and they're telling me in their marketing, in their messaging, right, the way they're communicating with me, we're sustainable. We believe in sustainable fashion. Somewhere in your messaging, oh, we have shared interests. You've just gotten my attention a little bit more than the person that's like, leather bag, $12. Go check out the website. Y'all feeling what I'm saying? You have a shared interest. The other way that you can connect with your customer is maybe you all have a shared experience. And when I say you, I'm saying you, like, personally, because remember, you are your brand. You started this business for something other than I just want to make money. I don't attract entrepreneurs who are like, I just want to sell stuff. I just want to sell it because I just want to make some money. There are people like that. Those are like not really my tribe. I tend to attract people who sell things. They had a reason. I was having a hard time finding this kind of stuff for myself. I started this boutique because my daughter couldn't find clothes that fit her properly. I started this boutique because I wanted modest clothing for this. I started this candle business because I wanted candles that didn't have synthetic fragrances because I'm alert. Like the why. You have a why, a reason why you started your business. And for most of you, it's going to be other than, I'm not saying you don't want the money, because we want the money. We love the money. Please give us the money. But that wasn't the main purpose. There was something else. I enjoy this. I think this is fun. I like blah, blah, blah. I like, putting makeup on. I like whatever. So in that experience, when your messaging is talking about that experience, when you're posting or when you are sharing or going live, or when you do an ad and your ad is talking about how, being a homeschool mom, has.
Could you try again?
Why is it, I have not even touched this watch. Siri just be.
Sorry,
You can't make this stuff up. This is live. I wasn't even talking to Siri. Anyway, you can't make this stuff up. So when you're talking and in your messaging, if you're saying, being a homeschool mom is very taxing, that's why we created, the secret retreat bungalows where you can come stay here to get away, like right there, they've caught my attention. They're not just saying if you're a mom, they're saying a homeschool mom, right? They're pinpointing to me. They're talking directly to me. This is why when we talk about like marketing and customer avatar, you need to know exactly who you're talking to. She's not, or he's not just a person 18 to 50 who likes big general statement. There's certain things, they're experiencing specific things. They are attracted to certain things. If you're selling earrings, right? Oh, everybody's got earrings. Okay, well, are your earrings like nickel free and compliant with health regulations, that have been proven that the metals used in your earrings don't cause cancer? Because if you do, you need to be talking about that. This is how you can post and talk about things other than buy my thing. So check it out. Come see us. Shop here, right? You're building that connection. But you have to know what that is. So you're either sharing an experience, you're sharing an interest, right? A hobby, a sport, a desire. Excuse me. And that's the last one, a desire. Maybe you guys have a shared desire. So that example of like the homeschool mom, like that's a desire, right? So we share a desire. Maybe you started your business because, you were codependent on a spouse's salary. And at the same time, you've always been super passionate about natural hair brushes. And you were like, you know what? Using this natural bristle brush on my hair helps my hair stay shiny, keeps it from being detangled. And, I really enjoyed that. And brushing my hair and having beautiful hair really helped me feel good about myself. And I do need another stream of income because I do need to have my own money because I no longer can rely on my spouse's or my ex-spouse's support. And this is why I started my business. When you show up like that in your marketing, you have tapped into all the millions of other women who are experiencing that. They may not be like specifically like, oh, shiny hair, natural brush, but they're like, yeah, I remember being like that. I remember having that feeling. I remember what it was like to, only have my spouse's income. I don't want that either. Oh, by the way, she sells brushes. I'm gonna just buy a brush. I really like that. They're invested in what you're doing and who you are and the brand. That's what branding is. So marketing is you talking about it's just talking about what you are, who you are, what you do, what you stand for. Branding is the ways that it shows up and the feelings and the conversation, right? You'll hear things like brand voice. That is a voice. And all of these things play so well together that it makes it super easy for people to want to buy from you. And then price is now irrelevant. I don't want to be going too fast. So let me know, are you guys tracking? Am I laying this all out good for you guys? For you ladies. I'm gonna work on that. All right. So Alexis says, I feel like my why is shifting, but I want to keep the original why and merge it with new African ties. Should I just talk about both? So just to answer your question quickly, Lexi, yeah. So and again, the journey, business, your whole thing, it will evolve, it will change, it will shift. This is natural, right? And as you make those shifts, as you make those changes, yes, talk about that. Tell people, you know, like start with where the shift is coming from. You know, take them on the journey with you. You can absolutely still post pictures, buy this, come shop here. You have to do that. You have to do that too. But when I hear people say, I don't know what else to talk about, when it comes to marketing, I just feel like I'm always just saying the same thing, buy my thing. These are the kind of conversations, because this is making a connection. Okay. So yeah, talking about like the thought of the shift, talking about as you're making the shift, where it came from, why you're making the shift, you know, sharing that journey is going to build that connection. I can't tell you how many times, like at one point, 3 of my businesses were in different states or cities that I was in, okay? And moved here to Tennessee. Well, we moved a couple of places before settling here with my husband because he's military. So my stores were staffed, they were sustainable, they had people running them, okay, cool. Was making money. But I would notice when I would go back home, so like 2 of them were in St. Louis. I would notice when we would go back home to St. Louis to visit family, I could walk up to my boutique because of course I missed it. I missed being in my atmosphere, working with my customers, you know, seeing people. That's why I started it, right? I didn't start it to like be doing payroll and shit. I had to do it, but that's not why I started. So I wasn't getting to do all that fun stuff. So we go home, I visit. Of course I want to be in my boutique. So I'd be there, and every time without fail, even though it was making money when I wasn't there, when I was there, I mean, if we were doing $4,000 a week, there were days I can come in there and make $2,500 in a day if I was there. And for the longest time, I couldn't understand why. I was like, what are y'all doing? Like, how can I come in here and in 6 hours do $2,500 and we do a whole week and, you know, might hit 3,000 or 32 or, you know, whatever, like, or even 4. How we doing it 4 in a week and I can do 25 in a day? Like this, I don't understand. It wasn't until later that I realized it was because I had built a brand, and part of the brand is me, which I didn't want that. Again, I wanted to be separate, like I don't know all that. But people were there, they would buy just because I was there. How many times have y'all had customers who are like, they just gonna find something, like they can't fit it. It might not even be their style, but you talk to them, or you greeted them a certain kind of way, or maybe you've been chatting with them online. Have you had somebody yet come to you and be like, you know what, girl, I gotta buy something today? Those are the kind of people that you want to attract all the time. And the reason why they do that is because they are bought into your brand. It has nothing to do with the product. They will literally find something just to buy something because they are that vested in your brand. That comes from having that shared interest, having a shared experience, or a shared desire. But how will they know that they share that interest with your brand? How will they know that your brand is into that, or that your brand, that you've personally experienced that as the face of this business, as the owner of this business, if you don't share that, if you're not talking about that in your marketing? They don't know that. All right. So this is why it's super important to show up. This is why I talked about DJ Khaled. You gotta be confident. You gotta be, if you're not confident in who you are as a person, okay, cool. You can work on that, right? You should be working on it anyway, just so that you can be, a whole and fulfilled person. But when it comes to your brand, if you're not confident in yourself, be confident in the experience. Be confident in how people feel when they buy your things. Where are those testimonials or the conversations where people have told you, oh my God, I wore that thing that you showed me and I got so many compliments. I would have never picked that out. Rely on that to help build your confidence as the business owner. All right, because you're going to need that confidence to put this price tag. Okay, like Kristen said, like you're going to be like sweating. You're going to be like, oh, I don't know. But when you do it, it pays off. And then you go, oh my God, I can't believe I waited this long to change my prices. All right. So let's, one more thing here too, is that separating yourself from the other flock, in sheep, this is when it's great to be the black sheep, right? You need to be the black sheep in your industry. You need to not be doing what everybody is doing. If you and 5 other people all sell similar things, okay, cool. You sell similar products, but the way that you're showing up, the experiences that you give customers when they shop with you, even if that's online, you have to be thinking about how can I give them an experience that's going to be different, because that's what's going to make you stand out. And that's why you can charge a higher price point, even though you and the other person sell the same thing. Alexis says, yes, indeed. People tell me all the time that they didn't wear prints like this, but because I'm always in them, it makes them think they can. Boom, that's a whole messaging post. That's a whole message right there. Lexi's got her branding down, but if she didn't, I would say you could show your messaging right now could be, Afro Hawaiian prints for women who want to show up boldly but think they can't. Boom. Somebody saw that and was like, yeah, because I really want to wear that, but I don't know. They're going to buy it from Lexi because she was the person that they connected with that. Even though the other person might have the same thing, less expensive. You see? So this is really not about pricing. It's about knowing what business model you're running, who your customer avatar is, and how you can connect with them. All right. So when we talk about connecting, this is where I was saying, like with the posting, with the bios, all of this, anytime that you are sharing, any place that you have information about your business, your products, your brand, you need to be making sure that you are interacting with them on a connection level. Stop focusing. If you stop focusing so much on price, they will too. Will you maybe lose some people in the process? Yes, you will. But if you lose 2 people who are used to paying $5 each and you attract 1 person who's okay with paying $25, did you lose? Really? So, I mean, again, I don't do numbers, man, but it still sounds like you came up on the positive side of that equation. Okay. So before we go into the worksheet, and I'll go through like some examples on how to do some price increases. Did anybody have any questions for me? Okay. Awesome. So let's roll to our session 2 worksheet here. How to confidently sell your products at premium price points. So what connects you to your customers? I want you guys to take the information that I just shared, okay? And I want you to write in the bubble to the left, the one with the black outline. I want you to write down, just brain dump here. Don't feel any pressure to say it in a certain kind of way. This is just for you. But what makes your brand? What makes your products different, unique, the best? Because if you don't think they're the best, if you don't think they're good, if you don't think it's amazing, if you don't, nobody else is. I'm flat out. You can't even hire a good marketing person, because they're going to need to know from you what your brand is for, what it stands for, what it's about, who it helps, why. If you can't use words that describe why you think, you can't figure it out, you can't even hire them. So we need to know this. We need to get this figured out before we even talk about pricing. Okay. What is an interest that is represented by your brand? What was a why? Lack of confidence, desire to have smooth skin, wanting to feel comfortable in my own skin, like whatever this is. What is an experience, a feeling, a desire that your products, or that your brand, I should say, represent? Put that in the box, the circle to the left. And then on the right hand circle, without any outline, I want you to put what your customer, or the customer that you want to attract, like, so if this column, this bubble, this circle is my experience, what does that look like for them? How would they recognize that in your brand? What might they be saying they want? Because when those two come together, that's your sweet spot. That's where it's like, oh, okay, we're on the same page. It's like, meeting somebody. I always say, like, when people are interacting with your brand, if they're saying me too, or bobbing their head, that's a good sign. That means y'all are talking the same talk. Y'all are birds of a feather. So Kristen, I'm going to ask you really quick, because I don't know if it's difficult, or if I'm not explaining. How you doing with that?
Okay. So repeat the question again, so I know I'm answering it.
I'm just asking, are you doing okay with this exercise? You look like
No, I'm taking it all in.
Okay, perfect.
Because this is really what I need to know. So it's doing great trying to figure out everything. So yes,
okay. Yeah. All right, cool. Just checking on you. Anybody else? Anybody stuck, not sure? It's not clicking what I'm saying, because I've been in situations where I hear terminology, I hear words, I understand the words individually. I don't necessarily understand the concept or how to apply it. And I want to make sure that you guys know how to apply it. Okay. Alexis, your hand is raised. I don't know if that means you're good or you want to ask a question. If you want to ask a question, pop in. If you're good, good.
Okay, so on the left-hand side, right, you said to write down what I feel connects. And then on the right-hand side, what might they be saying in response to what I wrote down on the left-hand side?
Right. So you could say left-hand side.
So one of the things I have on the left-hand side is that in the black bubble, like you say, that is handmade in Africa. And then, when you purchase, you're directly supporting 9 family or someone from one of the 9 families in Africa. So what I think the customer is saying is, I want to help make a global impact in my purchases. So I'm on the right track?
Yep, okay. Exactly. That's something they care about. So to make it real simple, one bubble is what you care about, what the brand stands for. And the other bubble is what your customer or the person that you're trying to attract, what they would care about. When you start seeing the same similar things on both sides, now we have a connection. You would have a disconnection if you were saying, I'll give you an example because this happens a lot. Business owners will say, I want my ideal customer, she likes really unique, different things that everybody doesn't have, right? Okay, and then it's like, and what do you offer? What are you selling? I sell jewelry or I sell clothes that's made, it's mass produced. It's mass produced. And I'm selling, I want to be affordable. So I'm, I want to stay competitive. So I'm selling it for like $25. Let's be clear. The woman who is really focused, or man, or whoever your ideal customer is, if a person is really focused on having something unique and different that nobody else has, they already are coming into it knowing they're going to spend a lot of money. They know that's not going to cost them $20 because different and unique doesn't cost $20. That's what everybody has, costs $20. When it's like, it's just, it's demand, right? You don't walk into a boutique or I get this one. I want to have a boutique. Okay, you got a boutique, but you have 30 of the same item. That is not boutique. Definition, that is not a boutique. You cannot say I want to be a boutique perfumery and I'm going to sell 50 different types of perfumes. That is not specialty. That is not boutique. And that is why it will be difficult for you to attract somebody who's going to come buy, a $200 bottle of perfume. And yet there's a perfumer that I worked with, and their perfume oils are $200. Guess how many they have in their inventory? Guess how many choices they have? 6. So it goes against our natural tendency to want to have more inventory, more selection. That comes from a place of lack. I'm scared that if I don't have a bunch of stuff, people are going to say they can't find anything. But if you were to focus on having a few things of the people that you want to attract, what they really want, you don't need a bunch of things. You just need the right things. You don't need a lot. You just need the right. So yeah, you are on the right track with that, Lexi. All right. Shante.
Yeah. For me, I'm kind of in a weird transition because of COVID. COVID showed me something that I didn't really think I wanted to do. I knew I could do it. So it's, I pivot because obviously I was trying to stay open.
Yeah.
I started doing more custom designs. I was a fashion designer by trade, and I thought, oh, okay, I worked in these big corporate houses designing for all these other people and doing their business. And when I first decided I was going to have my own boutique, I'm thinking, oh, okay, I know. Well, I don't know because I never ran a little business. I worked for someone else's business.
Okay.
So I came to that aha moment. It's not the same. So then when the first year was kind of, a lot of learning was going on. And then COVID hit and people were like, I'm at home Zooming, if I don't need it, or you're not, like you said, emotionally buying. Then what I started doing was I started making more things, right? So now people needed custom masks, people wanted custom shirts, people needed different things. And so I knew I had these skill sets, but I feel like I kind of was fighting it.
Okay.
So then I said, okay, well, I'll try something. What can I do that is different, right? You're thinking at this time. And one of the things was, well, since you can sew, you can make things, you can do all these things. So I started doing more custom fit. So yes, I purchased these items, but if you come to my store and you're 5 foot and it's a maxi dress, I can end it.
Yeah.
Let's say this is the last one and it's not too big, but I can take it in. So then I started offering those services, and there are a lot of people who are receptive to that. There's a lot of people who are, I want to buy it now. If you don't have it, you don't. And then I offered 2 items in my store that were custom, meaning I only made one. And if you like it, when you walk in the door, I tell you that I can make it in your size. And if you like it, maybe I needed 5 to 7 days to make it. So right now I am having that struggle of trying to say, okay, this is something you tried because you were pivoting during a pandemic, but now, understanding that and telling people like, hey, I offer tailored fit. I have fashion that fits you. So when you come in, if you like my style,
what's your struggle? I'm waiting for the struggle. What's the struggle?
My struggle is doing custom things takes a different type of a time, right?
Yeah.
when you are buying things, then you're constantly trying to find that right thing that you think is right for your customer, trying to make sure you keep your budget. When you are making things, it's kind of a different model. And I guess my
It is.
my biggest struggle is that the model is different. And right now I'm doing both. I buy a line, you walk in the door, if it fits you, great. If it doesn't, then I offer that tailored fit for you. And then being a designer, I like designing my own thing, but that's a completely different timetable. You're making, and then, sometimes I'm trying to say, okay, well, I'll design 3 or 4 things and then I'll buy things. They work together, they make outfits. My customers who are always that, I think as boutique owners, we probably all get I want the most unique item. I want the thing that nobody has.
Yeah. So essentially what I'm hearing, and this is not like, it's not just you. A lot of people do this. Again, that's that inclusive. I want to make sure I can accommodate people at all kinds of stages, right? Oh, it doesn't fit, I'll tailor it. Oh, you want unique? I'll make you a custom piece. Oh, you just need something right now? Get the shelf. Yeah, you can do all of that. I just think that, in my opinion, and what I teach is build your business in stages. Build these things in stages. So like if we go back to like the planning map, right? Maybe these are things that you're doing, but maybe in order to stabilize your income, you need to do one of those things and get that to where that is doing well. And then you can layer. You get what I'm saying? You can add the other layer and kind of go deep in first. Like you might have like the just ready to go in stock items. Okay, cool, you've got that. Then it might look like, okay, maybe I'll do some custom pieces, which I mean, and this is like really unique. So we could talk about this later, but you could do custom pieces, but you're not necessarily doing, like when I say custom pieces, your own designs. You could do your own designs because then you're not on anybody's timetable.
No, and I try to have to explain that. I'm not making your design. I'm making my design in your size.
Right. And even with that, you might just be making your designs and putting them on the rack. When you start getting into, I want you to make me a custom piece, my size, my curves fit my body. Now that's a whole different ball game, and that is a lot of time consuming, and that's like on demand, and that would be like a third tier that I would be putting into your business later on. I would not recommend that you be doing all of those things right now when it's just kind of you. And I would love to chat with you. I would love to work because I would be like, no, like there's no way we wouldn't be doing how are we doing all that and you're not paying yourself? Okay, that question. Okay, so but the short answer is do those things in stages. Make sure one level of the business is really going well before you're layering, because it's too much. Now, I mean, I can just imagine like you're all over the place. Right.
And it flipped because of COVID. If people were like, I don't need anything, but they're like, yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff in my closet I could get tailored, or I have. So it kind of flipped for me, and it took me to this place where now I'm trying to say.
But it would probably do well for you to explore, what do you really want to be doing?
Right.
Because we all have multiple talents, skill sets, and we all can do all kinds of things. But what do you really want to be doing? That's where I would start. What do you really want to be doing? Then how does that match up with what the demand is asking? Now let's see what's in the middle, what's meeting together. Okay, this is where we'll focus on. Because it can't be focused on what the customer wants first. That's BS. The customer's right. I mean, yes, eventually. But if the customer is happy and you're miserable, why are you can go get a job for that.
Right. So I'm saying if the business is saying, we have, quality garments and they fit. And then I'm saying, well, what does that mean to the customer? They're like, oh, well, if I go to Shantae and if I see something, I know that I'm shorter or this, I know that she offers these services. So I'm just trying to, like, as I'm doing my bubbles and I'm like thinking.
Well, I think you have to start with you have to do each individual pieces of that, you have to do each one of those kind of on its own. Because those are three really different business models. You're doing it all in the same location, but they're really 3 different business models. Right. So For the custom pieces, you need to do 2 bubbles for that. For the in stock stuff, like what is the overall brand though? You know what I mean? You really do well to be able to flesh that out. What is the entire brand? Even with the shift, if you're going to stay with doing those 3 different things, we need to figure that out. Because right now it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's like almost compartmentalized, and that also makes your messaging very fragmented. You get what I'm saying? Your overall conversation is very fragmented because you do a lot of different things. So you're not talking to one particular person. You're talking to 3 people, or you're talking to one person at 3 different stages of their journey, of their wants and desires. So it makes it a little harder, which is why I recommend that people have a singular focus and get that down. You need to pick. That's the real simple answer. I know it's not what you want to hear, but you really do need to kind of pick which one, even if it's like for the next 6 months, I really want to kind of focus on this. I want to test this. I want to, give yourself permission to play and have fun in your business, to make a mistake, to do things wrong so that you can get to the place where it's right. So if it's like for 3rd quarter, I want to play with, really focus on doing custom pieces and my tailoring, then you can do that. You still have the in-stock stuff, but that means maybe I'm not doing my own designs that I'm putting on a rack, or it could be vice versa, but pick one as a focus. And 90 days is always a great testing period. You can't get real results from anything that you're changing or adjusting in your business if you test it for 2 weeks, which we like to do. Oh, I did that for 2 weeks, it's not working. No, you need at least 30 days. 90 is ideal. So let's talk about how you adjust these prices. If you need to do that. I'm not saying you necessarily have to, but like I said earlier, if you have something that is priced at $25, it's easier to get to $100 4 times than it is to get to $100 selling at $5 a piece, however many times that is. Y'all do the math. I'm not real good, but I just know it's going to take you longer at $5 a pop versus $25 a pop. Okay. Now you're not going to just pull a number out of the sky like, oh, I'm just going to raise my prices because Sonia said I should. Keep in mind who your ideal customer is, and what they are connected to, that emotional attachment, what they want. If you're providing what they want, then they will buy that thing. They will buy the product that is basically an extension of that feeling, right? They will participate in that. They will talk about you and they will share that information. I know a lot of times people like to teach, oh, you just take whatever you bought it for a wholesale, you multiply it by 2, and that's how you come up with your price. Or you do Keystone Plus, which is 2.5, and that's just your standard. Well, here's my problem with that math. If you bought something for $2 and you sell it for, now I'm gonna sell it for $4, yeah, how are you getting paid? Where's your money? Where's your money? How are you replenishing stock? How's the business going to grow? Because we just multiplied it twice. So a good rule of thumb when I work with clients and we go through this and we determine this for everybody's specific business model, because everybody's different. So there's no real hard fast rule, but to give you a good starting point, at least 3-4 times, at least 3 times. 4 times is more ideal. Here's why. Because if we were to think about your business and all the things that it has to support as a pie, you have to replenish inventory. Well, first of all, you have to pay yourself. You have to replenish inventory. You have just general business expenses, and you should have some sort of profit. Those are not the same thing. Profit and the money you pay yourself, that is not the same thing. You don't just pay yourself all the profits. So that's ideal, 300%, so you can at least cover paying yourself, replenishing your stock, and handling your business expenses. Make sense? 2 times, that works if you're moving quantity. That works if you're pushing a bunch of quantity. If you're not a quantity-based business, which if you're an independent specialty type business, you're not pushing quantity. That's not even what you should be trying to do. So that's why if we're gonna go with like, kind of like that, give me a baseline, 300%, 4 is better, 4 is best. Now, the only time that that changes or would be different is if you are selling a high-end luxury good, okay? If you go to Magic, the Magic show happening later this month or early in August, and you decide you're gonna sell, like, I'm not a name brand person, y'all, so I'm probably gonna name something that's real. I'm like, that's not even in. If you're gonna buy some True Religion jeans, right? Wholesale True Religion jeans are not $12 like some jeans you get from LA. Like, it's not even wholesale, they're not that price. I don't care how much quantity you're moving. So True Religion is a premium brand. So, you know, wholesale, you might spend $30 per pair. Are you going to charge 300%? No, you're going to charge like 2.5. Why is it different? When we're talking about buying something wholesale for $30, buying something wholesale for $50, $100, right? There are some things you will spend. I sold prom dresses in one of my dress stores. So those wholesale were like $200. I could sell those for 400, 600, you know what I mean? 400, 500, somewhere in there. That wasn't necessarily 4 times, but the difference is the profit margin. The profit margin. So if you sell something, if you buy a pair of earrings that are $5 and you're like, I know I could sell these for 20, because jewelry typically has a much bigger profit margin than say like apparel, right? So if you're like, I'm gonna buy these for $5 wholesale, no, I wouldn't say just sell it for 15 if you know you can get 30. Because they're an amazing statement piece of jewelry. You know what I mean? It's got a brass clasp on it, and see all of these things. What does the thing that you're selling encompass the things that are important to your customers? That's where you create your pricing from. You start at a baseline and then you go up from there based on those things. So if something is wholesale and it's $100, you can sell it for $200, you can sell it for $250, because your price margin is the same, if not more, than if you had something for $5 and you multiply it by 5 times. Your profit margin is still the same or bigger. You get it? You understand? So that's a good baseline in terms of the pricing. But again, and then we'll get ready to take a break from lunch. When it comes to having and creating premium price points, it starts with positioning yourself in your niche, in your market, as the go-to place to go. And the way you put yourself as the place to go is by having a human connection that's based on things like shared interest, shared experience, or a deep desire. Everything builds off of each other. So it becomes easier to sell. You don't even have to sell. I don't have to convince somebody to buy a thing when they've followed me on social media and they've seen what I'm talking about. They're like, yeah. Like every step of the journey that they're going on with me, they're like, yeah, she talking to me. Did that. Yep. Same thing for you. When you're showing images of your products, when you're talking about your products, your brand, your business, tell people why they should do a thing. Why should they shop with you? Beyond just come get the thing. You know what I mean? What are the feelings? What are some words that describe the feelings that your customers want to have? Not just with your products, but just in general. I wouldn't want to market myself or position myself or my messaging for my product to be centered around confidence if the woman that I'm trying to attract is a super bold, outspoken, very confident woman. that would be a disalignment in the messaging. I don't need to have a quote about love yourself, look in the mirror, you're beautiful, all that. If I'm talking to a super confident woman, she already loves herself. She knows she looked good. That's not helping her. The messaging is off. But if you said to that confident woman in your messaging, in your images, in your captions on your website, you know, and you were talking about, you know, just, I don't know, I'm reaching out of my head right here. But if you were talking coming from a position and a messaging stance of like, you know, just continuing to feel confident, you know, continuing to look your best, that's going to make sense to her versus trying to help her feel more confident. She's already confident. So you've lost her. But if you were trying to get people to feel more confident, or if your brand is about helping women feel confident, then you need to know your avatar is going to be different. But sometimes what we say we want and then how we show up in our branding and in our messaging, our marketing, the way we talk to people is off. And that's where the misalignment comes from. And then pricing, you know what I mean? And then again, because it's all layered, then it kind of crumbles from the top down because it's not consistent. So if you've heard this phrase, you need to be consistent. You heard people talk about that, coaches, consultants, oh, you need to be consistent, you need to be consistent. It's not just you need to be consistent in how much you're posting. You need to be consistent in your messaging. You need to be consistent in the feelings and the emotions that you're talking about. You need to be consistent even in the quality of your product. And on that note, I'm gonna say this and then we're gonna wrap it up for this session. By no means should you be selling a low quality product, regardless of your niche or industry. If it's a low quality product, notice I didn't say how much it costs you, because I've bought quality things and got it for like dirt cheap prices. Like, oh my God, I'm about to kill it, right? But if you are selling low quality, cheaply made products, you don't get to just put a price tag, an expensive price tag on it, and then say, well, people should be buying it. That's an integrity thing. That's, you know, people do it. I do know people who do it and get it. Unfortunately, I've been the victim of buying something I thought was going to be high quality because it looked a certain way and all that. And then I got it and I was like, oh, right. But when you have integrity in your business, you should not be doing that. Does that mean you need to have the most superior quality? No. But I don't know. I'm going to leave that alone. I feel like I'm talking to people who get what I'm saying. So cool.